Hey, 42 here. We've all battled traffic as we sludge our way through a concrete sea on the way to work. This, my friend, is the disheartening reality of urban sprawl. The unbridled expansion of cities has unleashed a slew of nasty consequences for people and the planet alike. In fact, the UN predicts 68% of us will reside in cities by 2050. So, is it about time we reviewed how we build those cities? As concrete jungles invade pristine wildernesses, precious ecosystems are demolished, resulting in dwindling biodiversity and the demise of countless species. According to the World Wildlife Fund, habitat loss is the primary peril for 85% of all threatened species. Also, cities demand ever more water, energy, and raw materials to grow, which is often correlated with higher air, water, and soil pollution. Today, urban air pollution is responsible for around 240,000 premature deaths in the EU every year. Although it's interesting to note that these figures have been falling over the past decade, as many European cities seek to reduce their emissions. Urban sprawl also gives us the joy of lengthier commutes. We forever find ourselves travelling greater distances to work, school, and elsewhere. This only fuels traffic congestion and air pollution, tarnishing our overall quality of life. The average American wastes 54 hours per year stuck in traffic. Urban sprawl also threatens the little green space that is left within most cities. Oases like parks and gardens bestow bountiful benefits upon city folk, from mental health boosts to cleaner air and opportunities for exercise. As cities bloat, these precious places are often gobbled up by new developments. After World War I, skyscrapers were hailed as the remedy to urban sprawl. They were rapidly built far and wide, especially in America. However, these towering giants aren't without their faults. They're pricey to maintain, and skyscrapers consume up to 70% more energy per square meter than low-rise buildings. Skyscrapers are arguably unsightly behemoths that trade beauty for structural integrity and maximal floor space. They also cast long shadows, darkening city spaces, and they create wind tunnel effects, making adjacent streets unappealing for pedestrians. Given these pitfalls, those pencil fanatics we call architects have begun exploring alternative solutions. And some have sought inspiration from the very depths of the Earth itself. Enter the Earthscraper. Earthscrapers turn the concept of skyscrapers on its head, literally. Burrowing deep into the ground, they create layers of subterranean spaces for humans to do whatever weird things humans do. Would you like to improve your writing, unlock your creativity, and communicate more effectively? Introducing Grammarly Go. This powerful new tool provides personalized generative AI communication assistance, helping to accelerate your productivity and creativity. With Grammarly Go, you can personalize your voice and style of communication. Just click Set Voice to customize your tone and determine how you want to sound. This makes it so easy to fine-tune your writing in your very own style. Have you been stuck in a creative rut recently? Well, Grammarly Go has you covered. Simply input a prompt and watch as innovative ideas come pouring in. I absolutely love this feature. It's like having my own expert brainstorming assistant right by my side 24/7. Grammarly Go can instantly rewrite your text to reflect your personal style and adapt to any situation, no matter what you find yourself doing. Whether you need to make your writing sound more exciting, professional, or concise, Grammarly Go is here to help. I recently used Grammarly Go to help me draft an email to my animator about how we could add better visuals to one of our recent videos, and it did such an incredible job. I was hugely impressed. You'll be amazed at what you can do with Grammarly Go. So sign up at grammarly.com/42_ and get 20% off Grammarly Premium today. Discover the power of Grammarly Go and elevate your writing to new heights. A big thank you to Grammarly for sponsoring this video. Now, it's probably dawned on you by now that Earthscrapers aren't some fresh out of the 21st century oven concept. It's merely a snazzy term for a very ancient idea. The Cappadocia region of Turkey is home to the underground city of Derinkuyu. Built around the 8th century BC, whole communities of up to 20,000 residents were carved into the pliable volcanic rock, giving birth to a labyrinth of homes, stables, wineries, and chapels, all nestled beneath the Earth's surface. But now, with new technologies, architects and engineers can drill ever deeper into the Earth, building subterranean megastructures that would have made your average resident of Derinkuyu choke on his mead. As you can imagine, digging as deep as the Empire State Building is tall presents a myriad of unique challenges that we must overcome, the biggest of which is making sure it doesn't collapse in on itself. To ensure our little Earthscraper Sims don't get buried alive, good old reinforced concrete, famed for its sturdiness and longevity, will be widely employed. But engineers will also dabble in cutting-edge reinforcement techniques like soil nailing and deep soil mixing, which mechanically blends the existing soil with cement. We're also going to have to funnel plenty of light down there to ensure a healthy and pleasant living space. Architects will employ light wells, mirrors, and even fiber optic cables to send sunlight into the structure's depths. Green spaces and indoor gardens can be added to spruce up the aesthetics and boost air quality. There's growing research that greenery is a crucial ingredient for maintaining good mental health. Energy efficiency will take center stage in Earthscraper designs. By tapping into geothermal power with heat tubes, these structures will capitalize on the Earth's consistent temperatures for heating and cooling purposes. London Underground is an excellent example of this technology in use. Some above-ground apartment buildings in London are now being heated solely by the residual heat collected from the Earth via underground pipes that run through London's tube network. Moreover, water that falls into the Earthscraper can be harvested and recycled to decrease strain on urban utilities. Speaking of water, you're probably thinking, what happens if it floods? After all, we're essentially putting a giant f***ing bucket into the floor and hoping it doesn't fill with water. Fear not, there will be gargantuan advanced drainage systems to quickly evacuate excess water, but it's actually groundwater seepage that poses a more significant threat. That's water from the surrounding soil gradually making its way in, kinda like rising damp in your home. For this, architects will implement watertight concrete systems that have already been tried and tested for years in your average swimming pool. We also shouldn't ignore earthquakes. Meticulous structural engineering will be needed to ensure they endure seismic activity. Solutions like base isolation systems and seismic dampers have been effectively employed in many existing buildings, notably across Japan, such as the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building. One place that's genuinely looking to expand downwards is Mexico City, a vast metropolis of almost 9 million people. Here, traditional solutions have struggled to keep up with the city's rapid growth, especially since the city has put strict height restrictions on new buildings within the historic centre, so skyscrapers aren't an option. Enter Bunker Architectura, an avant-garde architectural firm with a revolutionary proposal. A 300-metre deep, inverted pyramid-shaped Earthscraper, designed to provide much-needed residential, commercial, and cultural space in the heart of Mexico City. And when they say the heart, they literally mean it. This audacious venture aims to tunnel into the earth right below the city's renowned central square, the Zócalo. By only using the space beneath the square, the Earthscraper preserves this iconic plaza and offers a resourceful answer to Mexico City's spatial predicament. The design envisions a sequence of terraced levels plummeting deep into the earth, each accommodating a distinct purpose, such as residential, office, retail, museums, and various cultural amenities. In fact, the suggested design spans a staggering 65 stories. This would be a huge boon to the city's usable space without adding a single inch to its footprint on the surface of the Earth. However, this concept is not without its hurdles. Boasting an estimated price tag of $800 million, the financial feasibility remains uncertain. And understandable concerns over impacting the historic city centre have made the locals get a bit itchy about the project. Besides financial obstacles, there are numerous engineering and logistical issues to overcome. As mentioned earlier, earthquake resistance is a crucial factor for Earthscrapers, and Mexico is especially vulnerable, being located near 5 tectonic plates. Bunker's design suggests using a flexible, lightweight carbon fiber reinforced concrete shell. Yeah, we've all put one of those on our Christmas list, haven't we? Which would supposedly shield it from seismic vibrations. Even with these hurdles, Bunker Architectura's Earthscraper concept remains an exciting and novel approach to combating urban sprawl, and I, for one, think it would be pretty amazing to see it come to fruition. Anyhow, the idea has already encouraged other architects to think outside, or rather, beneath the box. Take, for example, Japan's Shimazu Corporation, which has proposed an even more daring project called the Ocean Spiral, a vision of a self-sustaining underwater metropolis. Truthfully, it seems unlikely that Mexico's Earthscraper will happen in the near future, if at all. But there are a few smaller Earthscraper-esque projects you can actually visit today, such as Montreal's underground city, also known as Réseau, a sprawling subterranean network spanning over 20 miles. Containing a plethora of commercial spaces, including shopping centres, offices, hotels, museums, and public transport hubs. The climate-controlled space makes it a popular destination during the city's frosty winters, and Réseau has attracted around 500,000 daily visitors since its inception in 1962, proving that Earthscrapers aren't solely for addressing urban sprawl, they can also be a major tourist attraction. Although, let's be honest here, Réseau is a bit more shopping mall than avant-garde architecture. It is still kinda cool though. Skyscraper-mad New York has finally set its eyes below ground too. The Low Line is an audacious endeavour to morph a forsaken subterranean trolley terminal into a lively public oasis. This pint-sized Earthscraper would be outfitted with cutting-edge tech like solar collectors and fibre-optic cables funneling sunlight into its depths. Sadly, after a decade of planning, the project now looks to be dead due to financial issues. But it isn't just bowling alleys and boutiques that Earthscrapers could accommodate. Numerous industries like agriculture could reap the rewards of subterranean solutions. Imagine underground hydroponic farms that collect and conserve water and offer a precisely controlled climate for year-round cultivation. Data centers could exploit Earthscrapers' innate insulation and geothermal cooling capabilities, cutting down on costs. And if we do ever get to Mars, we might utilize Earthscrapers to create underground habitats, shielding us from harsh surface conditions and cosmic radiation. You could argue that building Earthscrapers here on Earth is a priority, so we have time to test them out and perfect the technology before we expand into the stars. In 2017, a team of MIT students won the international competition Mars City Design with their Redwood Forest proposal. It envisioned an interconnected network of Earthscrapers on Mars, with numerous living spaces below ground, each topped with a large transparent dome full of lush vegetation. So, as we ponder the particulars of the future of urban living, let's not gaze solely skywards, but consider the potential lurking beneath our feet. Because who knows, by trying something new, we could reshape our cities for the better. Or at the very least, we can build our own Zion before the machines take over. Thanks for watching.